Hello Scorpio friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Scorpio November 2022 Astrology Horoscope forecast. If you'd like more free goodies to help you make the most of this month, look in the notes underneath the video or podcast to see the links that will bring you to those. This is for you if Scorpio is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Scorpio placement you're watching for. This is going to be part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Scorpio, so we'll say around November 15th through the rest of the sign, or if you have a placement like 23 degrees or so through the rest of the sign, then I suggest you additionally listen to my Sagittarius report because you very late degree friends will benefit from both. So what is going on this month? This is another power-packed month. We have Mars, your co-ruler, retrograde. We have Jupiter going direct. We've got an eclipse cycle with your name on it and a grand water trine. Making amazing aspects for you. So we're going to talk about that. We'll also talk about how the mood changes in the month as it goes on, going from Scorpio water dominated in the earlier part, turning into a fire dominated sky scene, and how that can affect you. All right, so the name of the title of this video, I'm calling A Date with Destiny. And I'll just tell you straight from the beginning, the reason for that is because having a Scorpio cycle or having an eclipse cycle in your sign is so powerful for getting you aligned with your destined path and destined experiences that it's hard to express the degree to which this is true. Everybody in the zodiac has a chance to have destined experiences and moving along their fate lines at eclipse time, because this is kind of what goes on. It changes our trajectory. It, shifts out, clears out karma, brings in our dharma, our highest expression in this lifetime. And that's really what eclipses do. But when you are the focus of it, as Scorpios have been, if you haven't seen my October report called The Perfect Storm, then I definitely suggest you listen to that as well. And we'll talk more about the October 25th 2-degree Scorpio eclipse there. But that eclipse is still flavoring the whole month of November. And now we have a second one on November 8th in your opposing sign at 16 degrees of Taurus. Okay, so whether you're being hit directly through it being in your sign or you're being hit in opposition through it opposing, you are really in the hot seat for better and worse. So the me-we sectors of life, your stuff versus other people's stuff, your money, inheritances, estate planning, your purpose, your expression, your self-sufficiency, your intimacy, all of these things, you and your relationships and your stuff and their stuff and our stuff is really the highlight. And I'm sure you've been seeing ways that this has been coming up, especially since the end of 2021 when this cycle started, and it will go through until the end of 2023. So you're definitely going to be seeing this. Now, what is wonderful about this eclipse cycle is that, first of all, at this particular time, you've got so much support in the stars as far as water placements, okay? So you've got, and also Scorpio-specific placements. There's Mercury, the Sun, Venus, transiting South Node, all in your sign. Each of those planets are having a layer of experience touching you directly, okay? So this is revitalizing your health, your wellness. This is taking your spirit, your zest, your direction, your purpose, all of these things and supercharging everything. All of the lesser seen realms where Scorpios tend to dwell, that quiet, unspoken space, that deep wellspring of endless creativity, that place behind a Scorpio's eyes where you look in and you're like, what's going on in there? And it's really hard for them to even explain that. All of this is being accentuated by the fact that star goddess Juno and star goddess Estrella, Neptune and Jupiter for a little while longer are also in fellow water sign making trines. Then if you bring in the star goddesses Black Moon Lilith and Pallas Athena, we've got a grand trine. Okay, a grand trine is when you've got representatives of all of one element making angles to each other. And this is happening at this time. So besides the eclipse occurring, you've got all of this energy accentuating your firehouses. Okay, and this is really important to note because it's not just harmony and cooperation, accentuating your intuition and creativity and relationships. It's also your passions, the fire, the sizzle, your identity, your your purpose, your love, your romance, your things with kids or your creative babies, your things you've always wanted to do, your passion projects, your connection with others through, shared understanding, different languages, different cultures, teaching, learning, international connections. All of that is in this grand trine configuration that's being activated specifically for Scorpio through the house placements of the 1st and the 5th and the 9th houses. So this is all happening at this time, so this is like a mega experience here. Besides the eclipses, which is just enough. Okay, so the 16-degree Taurus eclipse that's on November 8th is a lunar eclipse. The solar eclipse the Scorpio was the solar eclipse there at the end of October. And so this lunar eclipse might be making you say goodbye to somebody. It might be making you say goodbye to a way of being in relationship. And this may be welcome or it may not be welcome, or it can have different branches where there's super welcome things and super not welcome things. What I've seen happen a lot is a grandparent dies and a child is born. And this is really showing the energy that eclipses bring up into the forefront. That energy is not created is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form. So like this energy of this, this person, patriarch or matriarch in a family shifting into this new generation, and this is the embodiment of the birth and death cycle that Scorpio energy is so familiar with energetically. But there are a million other ways this can manifest, This can be a change in how you do relationships. It can be a change in the power story of your relationships. This can be, going deeper in your relationships. This can be going deeper into your own individual pursuits, which can also strengthen your relationships. So there's this storyline going on, but the eclipse is happening in your relationship space. Okay, so something noteworthy is occurring either with an individual or the way that you are in relationships, or in multiple levels, business, home, and anything else, acquaintances, etc. Now, you'll be all feeling this very strongly, but the closer you are to 16 degrees, so that's going to be like 11 to 21 degrees is our range of the biggest hit there. And the closer to 16 degrees, the more you'll get a direct obvious impact from this. So that's basically like November 1st-ish through November 11th-ish, and the closer to around November 6th-ish, the more you'll see the profound impact occurring there. Now, sometimes these things that are profound are actually happening on a more subtle level, and they're not as obvious to other people. Like you have an awareness, you have an insight that changes everything. But to someone who's an onlooker, they might not even know anything's going on, So these changes can happen on those levels where you then start doing things differently, seeing things differently, but nothing really happened per se. Or it can actually be literal occurrences that really change everything. Okay, so that's happening. So now while this is going on, we've got the first part of the month is full of the Scorpio energy, deep emotional connections. Your partner or people close to you might need the investment of your time and attention, or yourself, your own emotional process might need that attention. A deepening of your psychological understandings or your spiritual growth is all a possible byproduct of all of this. And as the month progresses, we start to move into the Sagittarius territory, and this accentuates your money sector. Okay, so Sag placements mean that your second house is being accentuated, and the second house is ruled by Taurus, which is where the eclipse is happening. So you're getting this money focus from more than several placements at one time. Your self-sufficiency, your earned income, your resiliency, your money consciousness, your specific material item that you've been wanting could come through. All of these things are getting lit up, and especially as the month moves on, you're going to notice a big focus on this. And this could be lighting a fire under your butt to do something, about your finances. This could be giving you opportunities through earned income, where you're busier. And this could be just even at the foundational level, again, of your money consciousness that can plant the seeds for your future success. So while this is going on, Jupiter is going to go direct, okay? And this is a very big deal because Jupiter has been retrograde since the end of July, so you'll notice that at the end of July, things that prior had been blazing forward might have started to slow down. And then a lot of those things are likely going to wake back up again, and it may seem random, but it's not. So you can look forward to that. If there are things that you're like, what happened? This was happening. Now what's going on? Those things might come back around. And at the same time, Mars retrograde. Mars just went retrograde officially October 30th. I've been talking about this a while because we started this, the pre-retrograde shadow period at the beginning of September. So it's been this long prelude, but it just officially went retrograde just a couple of days before, November, our November report here. So it's kind of very new, and this is your ruler. So the way that Mars retrograde works is it tends to cool certain things down as far as the energy, as all retrogrades tend to do this. So it's going to slow certain things down, but it also can make you super obsessed with other things. Now, as a Scorpio, this energy of obsession is something that's very strong with your personality type, whether you're obsessing with your work or whether you're obsessing with certain projects or with the people or, this power of very direct, specific focus can be applied in ways that aren't healthy for you, but it can also be applied in ways that are and can be super productive. So when Mars goes retrograde, certain of those things that you're like super passionate about, you just might be like, meh, don't really care about that. But it may awaken obsession in certain other areas. And the best thing that you can do, knowing this is happening, is if you feel a lot of frustration, it's probably because you're trying to push in areas that Mars is cooling down. So if you stop pushing in those areas and you direct your energy towards the things that Jupiter is lighting up with its direct movement, then you can cut a lot of the frustration out of the equation. All right, and because that's the keynote of Mars retrograde tends to be if we try to force things that don't want to happen, if we try to make something happen, if we have an agenda, if we, are using hostility and trying to make that anger be productive, all of that does not work very well during Mars retrograde. And this is specifically focused on Gemini things, writing, publishing, relatives. And this is also in your 8th house. So this is like your deep relationships, your Scorpio-based things is where this Mars is making its retrograde. So just kind of have a word to the wise be sufficient. Take your foot off the gas in the places where you're getting frustrated. Put your foot on the gas in the places where the energies are lighting up, and you will have a much more fruitful, productive, and joyous time. Now, as the energies move into Sagittarius, as we talked about before, this is going to light up your money sector. But what it also can do, between that and Jupiter going direct, it can bring more optimism, more buoyancy, more hope, more creative solutions, and just more of like a can-do-it attitude and more positivity in your perspective. So hopefully that will work really well for you. And, this is kind of a crazy, crazy time where by the time I'm recording this and you're listening to it and the time this actually happens, your life could completely change. So I'm holding the vision with you for the most ease and grace. And on that topic, if you haven't already watched my video called Change Your Life in 2 Minutes or Less, you definitely want to search for that because I give you a self-help tool plus the reasoning behind it as to how you can experience stress differently and how you can keep your center in tough astrological transits or any other stress or changes that come to you, and how you can access your prefrontal cortex, which is the place where the higher learning and the higher insights and the higher solutions come in when you're in that space of fight or flight or stress. So definitely check that out. So I hope that it's a crazy magical month. It definitely has the potential to be. Happy birthday to most of our Scorpio friends. Birthday time is a very magical time when the universe is more receptive to your wishes, which is where birthday wishes come from. So make sure to utilize those to align with the things that you really want for yourself. And there is so much power at this time between all of the grand trine energies and the eclipse energies and everything else that is being discussed here for November. Is definitely giving a lot of power to creating the life that you want and getting the resources that you need to do what you feel like you really want to and need to do. So happy birthday, Scorpio friends. And for those of you who are not Scorpio sun placements, just know that the sun moving through your or making a connection with your Scorpio placement is also an amazing time for intentions and revitalizing your energy towards your conscious creation and manifestation. Okay, so I've given you a lot of information to work with to help you make the most of the starry possibilities. If you would like more free goodies from me, go to anniehelpsyou.com. That is the interface for all of the free goodies I make for you and all of my other offerings. And I also have blogs on that site, astrology blogs and more. You can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. This is a beautiful site if you haven't seen it yet. This is an astrology kissed nest where you can cozy in and learn about how astrology can help you in your daily experience, and also lots of tips for and spirit fuel for healthy living. If you want some free courses on unleashing your money magnet and wellness, you can go to lumelife.com, L-U-M-E, life.com. At that same website, which is my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, you can find my very transformational programs, including my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you want to be a professional astrologer and earn money as an astrologer, I can teach you how to do that from ground level all the way up to the professional level. Or if you just like to learn for your own personal development and helping friends and family, I can also help you there. And I have other courses that you can see there at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. If you're looking for readings or personalized astrology education packages, you can go to anniebclarity.com and see the options there. If you would like to get exclusive content access, so more content from me, helping you to understand your natal chart, giving you more goodies on the current and upcoming astrological transits. If you want to understand many ways that you can make tough astrological transits easier, you can find all that at anniebastrology.com. Now for my books. I have 3 books that are available and more on the way. You can find Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, on the shelf at all major booksellers in the Mind, Body, Spirit section. And that is a very beautiful hardcover, in-depth book. You can also get it online or at any indie bookstore. My other book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. This is a non-denominational prayer and affirmation book. I've heard a lot of people carry it around in their bag with them and refer to it often. It's a beautiful book. You can find it through any major bookseller and online, also at indie stores. And my new release of my very first book, which is a spiritual novel called Tough Pill to Swallow. So it's a beautiful, supernatural, autobiographically inspired book. Tough Pill to Swallow is based on my experience working for Big Pharma decades ago, selling a drug that got recalled. And you'll see more about that in Tough Pill to Swallow, which you can also order online or order through any major bookseller or indie bookseller. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.